It was a cold, colorless morning in New York that afternoon. Mia sat staring at her mother's cold, lifeless body lying in the coffin. The funeral had ended 2 hours ago, but Mia couldn't leave her mother. She kept saying in her head, "She can't be dead. She can't be dead." A few days ago, Mia's father came home from work and saw her mother hanging by a rope from the ceiling. Mia kept reliving the phone call she had with her dad that day once he found her. No one knew why her mother had committed suicide. Mia herself felt like there was something else going on.
James!
I'm sorry. I found the evidence, but, well, I thought I should be the one to tell you. Well, just look at the file.
My mother committed suicide.
I found this in the body.
James put his arm around Mia. She would usually punch him for this, but she needed him right now. She leaned up against him and started the beginning of what would be an hour of crying on the cold, misty, sad morning in New York in the backyard of her childhood home. After that hour had passed, James and Mia went to the front porch, where Mia's father, John Adams, was waiting.
This doesn't make sense. She wasn't into anything like drugs or gangs or anything illegal like that. Not my Shara, no.
Mia looked at her dad to see more of a combination of shock and anger at James's words, not sadness, disbelief, and remorse like she had felt. Mia shook it off and went to bed in her parents' house for the very last time for a while. Work. Maybe the only thing that could get her mother's murder off Mia's mind.
Maybe because of my promotion, the chief will let me work the case. I mean, now that I'm head detective.
You scared the hell out of me, Mia!
Stop.
Chief,
I know what you're gonna say, and no, you can't work your mother's case. It's too personal, and you know that.
But Chief, I'm head detective. I'm most qualified to work this case because it's personal.
No, and that's my final answer. Work on this case instead, and I promise you, we will find who killed your mother.
Murder, victim found in his apartment with a knife in his back.
Morning, Detective. James Carter from the coroner's office wanted me to give you this.
Inside of the file, Mia found exactly what she was hoping for. Everything from her mother's case. Something caught her eye on the phone records. One consistent call she got every day at exactly 7 p.m. since last year. Mia grabbed her copy of James's car keys and ran out of the NYPD police station. It was while stopped at the stoplight that the case truly started to pick up speed. The phone records reported that her mother had gotten a call every evening at 7 p.m., but not on the night that she was found dead, which was weird because it was estimated she was killed at 8 p.m. This made Mia think of a case the NYPD had a few years ago, where an elderly woman had been found murdered in her house by her husband. The victim had also been getting regular calls that couldn't be traced. The only thing the station was able to do is find out it was a gang leader making the calls, but couldn't pin him at the crime scene or find any other connections. Mia refused that her mother had anything to do with the gangs, but this was too similar to the other case.
Whoever's on the other side of that phone would seem to be my mother's murderer.
She decided to go back to the station to tell the chief.
Chief! There's new evidence pertaining to my mother's case.
Because you completely ignored my instruction not to work this case, we will not be accepting any more evidence from you. Now leave my office before I have to give you a more serious punishment.
"1851 Parks Avenue, Queens. 1851 Parks Avenue, Queens."
The address of the man who killed her mother was going through Mia's head and wouldn't leave. 1851 Parks Avenue, Queens. 1851 Parks Avenue, Queens. Behind this door could be the man who had caused her family so much pain. No footsteps. She was going to have to break down the door. It was an easy task physically, but hard mentally.
So I came right here and I don't know what to do, James.
Okay, calm down. We already found that body, it's fine.
I know that, but the chief detective called and she suspended me from the NYPD for 3 months.
What? She can't do that! Let's just watch the news.
Earlier today, the body of former gang leader Harrison Allen was found dead in his home in Queens. From the little investigation that has been done, the police already have one main suspect, their own head detective Mia Adams.
Mia, did you kill that man?
No, James, and this is no time to be joking around. I'm wanted by my own police department.
I know. We'll keep working on the case from here. We'll catch that man. I know we will. I promise.
Mia gave James a big hug, which seemed to surprise him at first, but then he leaned around her and kissed her right on the lips.
Night.
When they were kids, they were such good friends in high school. When James started flirting with her, she had thought he was just messing around, but now she knows he wasn't. She fell asleep almost instantly. This had been a crazy day for her, and she knew it wasn't about to stop. Now that she knew her mother's case was without a doubt, she had to start looking at the case a lot differently than she had before.
There's toast with butter and jam on a plate for you, with coffee in the pot.
Okay. I got my coffee and I'm all ears. What do you have?
Nothing yet, except now I know for sure this was organized gang violence. I'm missing something big. I don't know what.
Mia was starting to get agitated. She hated cases with no new leads.
I have an idea. Let's talk to your dad. Maybe he saw something. It could be a new lead. Let's go check that out.
Hey, Dad.
Mr. Adams, we need to know anything you can remember from the night your wife was murdered.
I did see a suspicious-looking car driving away from the scenes because I was getting home from work late. Oh wait, I got a partial plate of 211.
Here's a list of names with people with matching plates. Here, tell me if you recognize any of those.
Luke King, that's my dad's boss. Why would he be at the crime scene?
Let's go investigate that.
Is this it?
It must be. NYPD, open up.
Did your father send you? I did exactly what he told me to do. Please don't shoot.
Calm down, sir. May we come in?
Of course.
Luke King told them the whole story. Mia's dad had held a gun to his boss's head, told him to tell no one that he had left work early that day, and to drive him to his house and then drive away as quickly as he could. There was only one conclusion that Mia could get from this, one that she had been avoiding from the beginning. She put it through her head 1,000 times, but this confirmed it. Her father had murdered her mother.
I'm so sorry, Mia. We never could have guessed it was your dad. It's not your fault.
I know, just one of my parents is dead and the other one's a murderer. Hello?
Hello, Detective Adams. I just wanted to let you know that your suspension has been lifted.
Thank you, Chief.
If you want, you can come down to the station to talk to your father before we send him off to Sing Sing prison.
No, just lock him away and tell him I never want to see him again.
Copy that, Detective. Take the next few days off to rest, and then come back and keep doing your amazing detective work.
Thanks, Chief. I will. I feel a lot better. Let's go on a date night. We deserve it after all our hard work.
I completely agree,
said James, in agreement.
This is perfect.
I couldn't agree more. Mia, I never want to let you go.
And that's when the gunshot went off.